Hello, I am Theo, the executive producer of Time of the Sixth Sun, and I'm very happy to be joined by my friend Haumea, who I've known for just over 4 years now. Haumea and I actually met when we were first developing Time of the Sixth Sun, and Haumea is an amazing gifted healer, and I'm just going to tell you more about it now, but she runs a fantastic course called Awakening Beyond Your Trauma. And if you've been a member of our community for quite a while now, you'll have seen that we shared Haumea's course before, and we've had several Time of the Sixth Sun people go through it and send astonishing testimonials afterwards. So Haumea, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me, Theo. It's great to be here.
Yeah, and I believe, is this going to be the 4th time that you're running Awakening Beyond Your Trauma?
It is. It's the 4th time. I run it from equinox to solstice. And so it's the 4th time. However, it may be the last time. I know this one's definite, and I don't know anything beyond that. And that says so much about the energetics on this planet. There's actually been a lot of interference too. There are other forces that don't want people to come into their sovereignty that they are coming into with this immersion. And so it's very, very potent. I work with dragons and other elementals and many in the unseen realms to bring this forth. And it's really about helping to liberate the highly sensitive magicals in our world, because we're here with certain roles, and this is our time to really, it's go time. And yet so many are still afflicted with a lot of things. And so in psychological terms, it's often said to be trauma, and we think it's our own trauma or maybe some of our lineal trauma. And I'd say, yes, it's that and more. We found that there are so many technologies, spells, other things that are affecting, especially sensitives that are that are soul called and here to help bring in our new rainbow world, our new golden age. And so this is all about support for people right now that are in the midst of it and are boots on the ground right now.
And when you talk about sort of a magical soul-led sensitive, or is that like a hyper sort of sensitive personality? Is that and what happens if they don't get what they need?
Well, this is a great question. Is this a personality thing? A lot of times people who are not sensitive think it is, and even many sensitives think, oh, it must be a personality thing, because in Western psychology, we tend to talk about things in those terms. However, what's different is that with research that's happened in the last 20, 25 years, we found that there is usually about 20% of the population, and it's beyond human. So it's in animal kingdoms, it's in plant kingdoms. It's with fish, it's with dog, it's with your cats, it's within a herd of cows. 20% of the population is actually biologically wired differently than the rest of the 80%. So these are the people that I work with. We're actually wired differently, and we don't have the filters that 80% of the population has. So we perceive things, we perceive energy and subtleties, colors, sound more acutely and in ways that many others don't. They're able to filter out a lot of the what would seem like extra noise, and we don't. And there's pluses to that, and there's minuses to that as well. Can be what makes life very difficult, and it can be what makes life very magical. So yeah, there's a divine design in it though. So those people that are very, very sensitive, one of the divine designs about it is that they are the early warning system in a herd. So they're the ones that are going to be able to tell if something is tainted in the water or in the air or in the food. Like, don't eat from that berry bush, but this one's safe over there. That can keep a whole tribe alive. Or if somebody's not tuned into it, a whole tribe can go in a moment.
Oh, yeah, that's my son coming in to give me a hug. That's a beautiful moment.
That's wonderful. That's beautiful. Hi.
Sorry, I didn't realize the camera was on. I just wanted to go.
That's what it
Oh,
is. He's a sensitive. There's one there.
exactly. I think he felt that call. I can feel him. He's very sensitive. I can feel him. And it was like he knew I'm talking about his tribe. Yeah.
You are
Yeah.
absolutely talking about his tribe. I know. I totally relate to where you're going. And I love that. I mean, what are the chances? He said, I'm busy having a chat here. I said, I'm on a webinar. He still comes in for a hug. I love it.
It's perfect timing. And one thing that we saw with him is this light, like almost fairy essence and beauty and innocence. And that's something that is so important for us to access our magic. And yet for adults, for many of us, we've had different traumas, different things that have happened. We carry the lineal trauma, and then collective trauma, what's happened over the last several years. We tend to be the empaths and the ones that feel things more. We pick up those feelings. We know how somebody feels before they even walk in the room. Like we can feel the energy walking in.
You are talking about that since he's 14 now, and since he was about 5 years old, we'd have people turn up to our house. They'd open the front door and he'd look at one of them, he'd look at the other end. Oh, you don't love each other anymore. And then they would just sit on the bottom of our stairs and they'd break up. And this happened more than once. I mean, as you say, these kids coming through have just got this gift that they see. I mean, it's very hard to parent because he sees straight through me when he says, what's that? Oh, no, yeah, I know. I'm trying to hide something from you and I can't.
Yeah. And for you, it's like, and for him, that with that relationship, he's in a supportive relationship with his parents because you allow him to be who he is. So this immersion is for many who did not get that support, because when you don't get that support, you try to fit in. You try to get approval. You try to prove yourself. You try to, you're constantly trying. And the more you try, the more you sort of lose yourself. You're not your magical self as much. So this immersion is to help people to get that back. So to really loosen and release a lot of things that have been put upon us to keep us out of our magic, as well as to heal at very deep levels. They find it's the magicals that, I call them the magicals or the sensitives, that when they are given support and love and just genuinely accepted as they are, they become Teslas, they become Einsteins, they become the incredible inventors, counselors, the wise counselors. They become incredible artists. However, when they don't have that, we tend to lag behind all the others, financially, in relationships, being able to communicate, being able to just get a leg up in life. It's a lot harder. It's like, instead of being 3 steps back, 1 step forward, it's more like 15 steps back, 1 step forward, and constantly trudging through mud just to try to make some progress and to keep our head above water. So really, this is something that is not just me. This is so many beings and cosmic mothers that have come through to really deliver that love and unconditional love that many of us never even had. And so with that unconditional love, to begin to heal, because once our energetic body and our, I'd say our, how our system is wired, once it can relax and go into rest and digest mode, then it can actually heal. Our bodies know how to heal. But if we have things in there constantly afflicting us and triggering us into trauma states, and we don't even realize we're in it, what happens is that our higher connections and our forebrain, which is the newest part of our brain, it actually closes down, and it's our limbic system, or that survival or reptilian part of us, that gets activated. So we're just in constant survival mode. And when we're in survival mode, it means our choices are narrowed down into this or that. We no longer have that range of creativity that we're meant to have. And we tend to listen for the voice of authority, which can be very dangerous in these times. So there's so much in media and other things that are trying to get us into fear and survival modes so that we're shut down into just listening to the most confident sounding voice, which may not be the voice of truth. And these days, it usually isn't. It's those quiet voices that are the voices of truth. And so it's really helping people to settle into their own source wisdom and their own hearts that know better than anything outside of those loud voices that are creating a cacophony right now.
Yeah. And how would somebody who's watching this, who is a member of our community, know whether this is the right course for them? I mean, you've explained about the sensitives, about the magicals. What if somebody's not sure?
You know what? Most people that hear me speak and talk about it, they feel into their body, go into their heart, and then even lower into their belly. They will feel a visceral response that goes, yes, I'm in. This is for me. Because what I believe on a soul level is that I'm answering the call of many soul contracts of others, and other souls have already contributed in creating this immersion to help with their progression and ascension through a lot of the muck. So I would say they would have a resonance on a soul level and on a visceral level. If there's a lot of confusion, like, I don't know, I'd say it's probably not for them. I'm just feeling into anything else. No, I really feel like it'll be very clear for those who it's meant for.
It's a resonance, yeah. So for sensitive people, who, for example, like my son, who tend to take on other people's energies and their emotions, how does this course help them stay protected during the trauma healing process? Because I know Nikki Luna, the Time of the Six Suns producer director, she did the 13-week course with you, and she came out of it going, wow. I mean, she wrote a beautiful testimonial that I'll actually put underneath this video.
Yeah, it's a fabulous question. And Ashley, it's one of my first concerns is everyone's safety. So I've put in all kinds of safeties in this so that as energies are being released, traumas are being released, it's not available for anyone else to pick up. Because like you said, sensitives tend to pick it up. So I work with a lot of 0-point energy technologies, and a lot of what's come to me is come through me and decades and decades and lifetimes of work in order to produce this. And so there are a lot of safety mechanisms there. And I find that people just don't pick up other people's stuff because of that's in there. And I love that you asked that question, because that's a real concern for other programs and courses people take. Whenever they're in groups, it's very easy for things to get transferred. That doesn't happen here. Only that which is love and above gets transferred within this.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, great. And what are the sort of things that somebody that completes the 13-week course, what are the changes that you've seen in people when you've done this 3 times previously, and obviously in your private work that you do with people?
Yes, I see people have transformations within seconds and minutes. They're at the end of each class. Most people are saying, oh, I feel so much better. I feel so much calmer. I feel more myself. I feel more at peace. For many people, they get very, very tired also during the course and during the session, and some people fall asleep, and that's fine. They're still getting what they're meant to get. Many people rewatch sessions and it goes deeper and deeper and deeper. One thing I did want to say also is that I teach a lot of tools. So sensitives, the world, if you think about it, 80% of the population that is not sensitive. So most of the ways of being are designed for the 80% and not the 20%, which is the sensitive. So I do teach a lot of tools and techniques so that people are getting a good sized toolbox so that they can calm their nervous system, they can come back to themselves, they have ways to deal with toxins, with energy, with all of that in ways that benefit them. And it's not prescriptive, it's not, this is the one way, because I don't believe that we're all unique. And so I teach a variety of different techniques and tools that will help them. And I've spent over 100,000 on my own research. I've worked with chiropractors, I've worked with doctors, I've worked with psychologists. I am not a trauma therapist, but I do work a lot with that energy. And when I'm working with the trauma, it's not about bringing the trauma back up. I'm not a talk therapy kind of person. I think that we can get stuck in the stories. And when I'm talking about trauma, I see the trauma sort of as an energetic knot or dam. And so it forces other energy into that same pattern. That's why we may see chronic illness or the same patterns repeating with relationships or with money. And so once that knot is unknotted, so I work with the energy to unknot it or undam it, and then energy can flow again the way it's meant to in our lives.
Yeah. Well,
so people have also mentioned feeling better physically, definitely emotionally, mentally, spiritually. I've seen people become very strong in themselves and very empowered in themselves. And so even though life still happens, for instance, we have people going through some really heavy duty relationship breakups and with children involved, the court system and all that, but yet they're being able to stay in their sovereign selves. Whereas before they would have just been, capitulating because it would have been too much for them to deal with, literally. So this is something where I was told Spirit had me and the other teams step in to assist the people that are here in physical bodies right now, because the times have really ramped up. This is what we're here for. And we really are in the midst of spiritual warfare. And so this is, it's like a way to unify together and in safety and really do some good unstoppable works.
Well, thank you for all that you do and all that you share. And so it's a 13-week immersion. And am I right in saying that you don't, obviously for people to commit to the same day for 13 weeks can sometimes be a bit too much, but you record every single session and the recordings are as powerful as attending live. Is that right?
Yes. I use spiritual technology, so it's as if you were live, even on the recording. So a lot of people are also electromagnetically sensitive, the EMF sensitivity. So I also offer a version that is like a private podcast, so they can just download it to their phone and have it on there and listen to it there while they're at the beach. They can turn the phone off and yet they still have it. So you're not attached, you're not, tethered to the computer, and you're not tethered to specific time periods. This you're able to consume and digest it at your own rate. And we have a special bonus this time where we do have a weekly community share, if you would like that and like to be able to connect with other of similar energetic and soul ilk, family. And it's not, it's not essential to the whole experience, but I know a lot of people have really enjoyed that right now. We have so much wisdom within the community. It's amazing. And love, just unconditional love.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing all that information with us. I'm not going to let this go on and on and on, because as you said, I could sit here and ask you questions all day long. But if there is a resonance and it's of interest, and you're also doing a special promotion for the Time of the Sixth Sun community, where you're taking $100 off, I believe, the usual price. And you also said something that that you do offer a certain number of scholarships as well, if people are, because I know a lot of people are really struggling financially right now.
Yes, I have a limited number of scholarships. I really like to offer that because I have been in times where I was diving for nickels and dimes in the sofa, and I know what it's like. I know what it's like raising a family like that also. So it's always about passing things on. There are many of us that, you know, can and do afford this, and that helps to support others that cannot so much. So yes, I offer scholarships, and if you're in that category and you're feeling a deep resonance and call for this, please contact us. And you know, through the website and the email, and we're glad to send you an application. Yes.
I'll put all the details below. Haumea, thank you so much. And yeah, and I'll add some of the testimonials from previous Time of the Sixth Sun participants of your amazing course. And yeah, thank you for all the work that you do in the world. And I remember you did a session for Nikki, Luna, and I on the movie about 2.5, 3 years ago, when things had ground to a halt. And suddenly, you know, the next day things started to pick up for us. In fact, we need another call with you, because it's sort of ground to a halt again. But that's the way that the world works. It's ebbs and flows.
Yes, let's do another call. Let's do another call with us. So fantastic. Thank you so much, Theo, for sharing this with your community. I love your community. I love the docuseries and the movie, and you're doing such great work. Thank you. Thank you for the love and all of the abundant generosity that you're showing us all the time here in the community.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for sharing your gifts. All right, Haumea, thank you so much. I'm going to put all the details below this video and in the email that we'll send out. Have a beautiful rest of your day.
Thank you. You too. Ciao from Italy.